Hey guys, welcome back.
Welcome back to Inspired Delusions.
If you're new here, my name is Kayma.
And I'm Olivia.
And we are the co-hosts of your newest favorite podcast.
Or your already favorite podcast.
How have you guys been? Have you been feeling good?
Yeah, we hope you've been feeling good. We hope you have been leaning into having fun and leaning into, being in your joy and realizing life is supposed to be good. Life is supposed to be fun. Where joy and abundance is our birthright. We will remind you guys of that damn near every week.
Absolutely. And if you guys haven't been feeling up, or if you've been watching the news or feeling a little scared or lonely or don't know what to do, feeling spooky, this is definitely the episode for you guys.
Yes, we are talking all things nervous system regulation on this episode because truly our nervous system affects us so much. You guys, we've done episodes before on nervous system regulation, but we figured we'd revamp it and touch on it again because it's very relevant for us. It's very relevant for what's going on in the world. It helps us. And it's just so powerful.
Yeah, nervous system regulation is definitely the energetic foundation of our reality creation.
Yes, that's a good way to say it.
But we were actually talking about nervous system regulation because we recently got invited to a breathwork class with Intra Breath in Los Angeles.
Yeah, shout out Tiff. We love you, girl.
Yes, by our new friend Tiffany. She hosts these breathwork classes, and she's so smart and so informative and knows everything about, breathwork and Tai Chi and just a whole bunch of different modalities.
Yeah.
But she loved this breathwork class. And in it, you guys, she had said something. She said something along the lines of, lack and scarcity is an illusion. Okay? And she said sometimes the illusion might be really strong, but it's up to us to remember that it's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true because abundance and joy is our birthright.
Yeah.
And so how do we remember? I mean, there's a lot of ways, but nervous system regulation is so important when it comes to remembering and then holding on to that knowledge.
Yeah, it's so important. Right now, we are doing our money and abundance challenge inside of our community, and a big part of like changing your money mindset and drawing in more money and more abundance to you is nervous system regulation. So that's like very relevant for us right now as well, because when our nervous system is dysregulated, which we're going to jump into like what that means, how you know if it's dysregulated, things like that. But if our nervous system is dysregulated, we quite literally don't see opportunities in front of us. And I had a TikTok go viral like a few weeks ago. It's my most viral TikTok ever. It was saying, it was a little clickbaity, guys. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Because I was saying nervous system regulation will solve all of your problems. Well, I was quoting someone else. Someone else said that and I was like, yeah, I agree. But so many people were in my comments being like, yeah, actually that's so true. Like when I regulated my nervous system, so many of my problems went away, even financial problems, even like getting a new job and all this stuff when it comes to like abundance and money. But obviously there are some factors that nervous system regulation won't solve, but it really, really actually does solve so many problems and even helps you become aware of more opportunities in your life, or helps you feel safe asking for a raise or asking for your value or asking like putting yourself in those spaces for you to receive more abundance.
Yeah, nervous system regulation definitely helps clear your mind, and it gets your mind and body speaking the same language. And once those two speak the same language, then anything is really, you can get anything you want, essentially. So yeah, it won't fix 100% of the things, but it'll get you into a space where you're like, hey, I actually feel really good. I can go out and do this. I can ask for these things and I'm happy to receive them, and then I'm happy to hold on to them.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it also goes to this idea of like our mind and our reticular activating system literally won't show us things in our reality. Like our 99.999% of reality is filtered out by our reticular activating system and like by our body. Like our body also affects that. So quite literally sometimes like two people can be looking at a situation or an opportunity or something in your life, and they could literally see different things.
Exactly.
So it's like our brain is so powerful, but our nervous system like really affects things that like affects our mindset so much.
Right. And so when we say nervous system regulation, we're going to be focusing in on the autonomic nervous system. And so that includes your sympathetic as well as your parasympathetic. Okay. And so starting off with the sympathetic, I always remember it like sympathetic safety. And so it is your fight or flight. Okay. That's what it's triggering. That's like if you're in the woods and you see a bear and you're like, oh, what do I need to do? That's what it triggers.
So you're like survival mode.
Your survival mode.
Yeah. It helps us get out of emergencies, things like that. Totally.
Exactly. And then the parasympathetic is your rest and digest. And that's usually activated right after the sympathetic nervous system is activated.
Yeah, and it should be.
It should be.
Yeah.
If they're properly functioning, they balance one another out. So it's like fight or flight, and then it's rest and digest, and they just go back and forth between the two. And so that's how it should be working. But unfortunately, a lot of us, especially in this day and age of phone, news, social media, feeling like we have so many things coming every which way, a lot of us are actually stuck in the sympathetic nervous system switch.
Yeah.
So constantly feeling stressed, anxious, unsafe, feeling like we need to go, 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 or run away from things is typically what we are.
Yeah, and I definitely believe that most people really are stuck in that sympathetic unless you're doing something to actively regulate, unless you're doing something like some of these modalities we're going to get into in a little bit. But because people will argue with us sometimes and be like, no, my body feels fine. Like, my body feels fine. Well, meanwhile, they're, having such a stressful job. They deal with traffic every day. They're dealing with family. They're dealing with all this stuff.
They get like anxious if they get a simple email, or they freak out if somebody wants to have a conversation with them, or just racing thoughts.
Yeah, so many, heavy on the racing thoughts, heavy on the having anxiety. So many people will come to us and say that they're having those things. And then when they start regulating their nervous system, so many of those thoughts start to simmer down. So many of those anxious thoughts start to simmer down. So if you're feeling any of those things, nervous system regulation really, really, really will help you.
Yeah, I think for me, when my nervous system was dysregulated, I was having a lot of anxiety, a lot of racing thoughts. I felt nauseous all the time. So that's kind of how I was like, oh, okay, this is a sign for me.
Yeah, and I mean, we're inspired delusions, you guys, right? All we talk about is hope for the best case scenario, be delusional, let yourself dream big, let yourself get your hopes up. And when your nervous system is dysregulated, it's actually a lot harder to do that. So when you do start regulating, it's going to be easier to think about the best case scenario. It's going to be easier to expect good things. It's going to be easier to be delusional and be like, yeah, of course of course life is good. Of course I deserve good things. So it's so powerful.
So some signs of a dysregulated nervous system: constant anxiety or hyperproductivity, feeling frozen, burnt out, unmotivated, emotionally reactive, overthinking, needing external validation, difficulty trusting or feeling safe in the present moment. All of that kind of signals to us like, okay, maybe something's a little off. Maybe I should work on this or investigate it at least.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're feeling any of those things, listen in, lock in, you guys, because it's actually, nervous system regulation is really cool because there's so many things that you can do to regulate. So we can touch on those, and it doesn't need to be that hard. Most of these things are free. It just takes consistency and repetition. It just takes really trying to do something like every day. And eventually your nervous system really, really, really does start to make changes pretty quickly. So are we diving into some of the ways to regulate?
Yeah. So obviously our number one, our favorite that we always talk about is EFT tapping.
I thought you were going to say meditation.
Oh, I know. You got me there.
Yeah, we have lots of favorites.
We do have lots of favorites. I take it back. Meditation is my favorite nervous system regulation. But just kidding. So EFT tapping. We love EFT tapping. It is when you tap on different meridian points around your body. It's essentially like an energetic lymphatic drainage.
Yeah.
It's moving things around and
getting rid of like stuck energy.
And it's really nice because you tap as you say a negative thing you want to get rid of. And then you also tap as you're saying affirmations. So it's really powerful.
Yeah. If you haven't tried EFT tapping, you guys, please try it. Like, if we want to take credit for something, it's putting y'all on EFT tapping. It's so powerful. Look up Brad Yates on YouTube. We can link in the show notes like a couple of our favorite sessions. They're only like 5 minutes or so it's quick, it's easy. You just tap along, and we've talked to so many people who are wildly successful, and they attribute their main modality to EFT tapping.
Yeah, everyone we know is EFT tapping.
Yeah,
because it's so quick. It can be as short as 1 minute and upwards of 10 minutes, and you follow along with whoever is guiding you through it, and you get rid of these old limiting beliefs, and you build new belief systems. And it helps regulate your nervous system.
It helps regulate your nervous system, and it helps rewire your subconscious mind at the same time. So it's like a double whammy, awesome modality. So yes, highly recommend EFT tapping. We just mentioned meditation. Meditation's an amazing way to regulate, whether it's a guided meditation or just a mindful meditation, taking some moments to observe observe your thoughts, sit in stillness. We were hanging out with one of our friends this weekend and she was like, stillness is a punishment. We're like, okay, maybe let's unpack that a little bit. Let's unpack that. I think it can be hard for people to sit still and meditate and just try to do nothing because we're so trained and so used to go, 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 thinking.
That's the dysregulated nervous system.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, we need to keep going. We need to keep moving. But it's like, actually, you're safe. Just sit down.
You're safe. And it's definitely moving past that idea that you have to be like doing something to be productive. I feel like that's a very entrained belief in so many people that we have to unlearn, that we don't actually need to be productive all the time. We're supposed to be frolicking in flower fields all day long.
Just a cute little dilly-dally.
We were supposed to be dilly-dallying all day, and then capitalism came on. But anyways, so meditation is an amazing way. So then what's next on our list?
Breath work, obviously, which spurred the entirety of this conversation. But breath work, okay, here's the thing, guys. I have a love-hate relationship with breath work, and I love it because it's so good for you.
It's so good
obviously. For you. It feels like you're almost high when you're doing breath work.
Yeah, if you're doing like a guided breath work session, like you're locked in, you're doing it for, a few minutes or 30 minutes or however long that session is. It doesn't have, like, I also consider just sitting and taking some deep, slow breath work. Right. So it doesn't need to be that intense. But what you're saying,
the type that I have beef with is like actual breathwork classes.
Sorry, Tiff.
Well, I know it's good for you, but
it's tough.
It's tough to get me to go there.
Yeah.
And even while I'm doing the breath, I'm like, dang, we're still going. Like, I'm tired. My mouth is dry. My lips are dry. My nose feels cold. But it's truly, I can feel the movement of energy, through my body. And like even Dr. Joe, a lot of his meditations, the more advanced meditations, the beginning of it, he pairs it with breath work. And he talks about, taking the mind out of your body.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like the breath work, guided breath work in a class, it's truly moving energy out of your body. And so it's so, so powerful. And that's what I have beef with. Do you know what? I just need to practice it more.
Yeah.
I just need to start going to classes more and getting my body more comfortable to it. But it's such a good modality. But yes, breath work, obviously, you can do at home. And it's just taking a couple deep breaths. Your favorite little breath work exercises, right? We talk about the box breathing, the 4-4-4-4. I like the double inhale, the initial inhale that's really deep. And then when you feel like you can't take in anymore, inhaling a little more. And
then side out.
Exactly.
My favorite is breathe in through your nose for 4 and then out through your mouth for 6.
Exactly. And it's actually really important that people know that when you exhale for longer than you inhale, that's what triggers the parasympathetic nervous system and tells your body, okay, I'm safe. I'm chilled. I can relax. Everything's fine. I'm not in danger. Because obviously if you're in your fight or flight and you are running from a bear and you are trying to keep yourself safe, you don't have time to sit and start breathing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely showing our body that we're safe. Like showing our body we're safe. You definitely can't talk about nervous system regulation without talking about breath work and just trying to be a little bit more aware or more purposeful or intentional with your breath throughout the day. Like try to take a few deep breaths throughout your day. Like so many of us are just running around with like very shallow breaths. So just taking some time to take some deep breaths. This is your sign. Breath work is so powerful. So what do we have next on the list?
Moving your body,
you guys.
This includes like dancing, shaking, rebounding,
walking,
but we'll touch on walking too.
Okay, walking separate.
But yeah, just moving your body, shaking. Obviously we have a rebounder, so we like jump every day and I always feel better after doing that. But a new one that I learned is raising up on your tiptoes and then tapping your heels.
Ooh.
And just doing that over and over again, like tapping your heels. And while you're doing it, you kind of relax your body and you shake your arms out, shake your hips out, but just the tapping of your heel, that movement regulates your nervous system.
That's a good one. I definitely love shaking. Like I shake my body all the time, or especially if I'm like triggered or something, I'll try to like shake it out. And we talk about that with like animals in the wild, right? Like if an animal is like getting chased down or getting hunted or something, and then they eventually get away, they take some time to shake it out. Like they shake their body. So it's a very natural thing that happens in nature, of shaking your body to help regulate your nervous system, kind of get you back to that good baseline.
Yeah, you reset. Reset after shaking.
And did you also say dancing in that list?
I did say dancing.
Okay, yeah. You guys, dancing is so underrated. Did you know that they did a study that dancing for like a few minutes, I don't know how long, but I assume it's like a few minutes every day, is better than antidepressants? You guys put on your favorite song and dance around your room. Like I do that also when if I'm like triggered or crying or something, I'll try to like dance it out, and it feels a little silly, but I'm like, I know this is helping me move through this emotion quicker, help me move the stagnant energy out of my body. And so dancing's so powerful.
Yeah, we love a good dance sesh. And then also butterfly tapping.
Yes.
Crossing your arms and tapping on your chest on both sides rhythmically. That's really good to reset your nervous system.
Yep.
But overall, moving your body.
Yeah.
And then going off of that, walking. Walking is so great.
So good.
Do you want to tell them about the amygdala?
Yeah. So, okay. First of all, walking is so powerful, you guys. So many people will always comment and tell us like, oh, they just added, like they didn't change really anything else about the routine, but they added, a 20 or 30-minute walk into the routine, and it completely changed their lives. And yeah, so I learned this from Emily M. on the Brain, the neuroscientist, how if you're interested in like the science behind it, if you're walking forward, so this is specifically like if you're walking outside or if you're walking forward, a forward movement, our eyes naturally make bilateral eye movements, which calms our amygdala. And our amygdala is the part of our brain that's responsible for our fight or flight, right? For the sympathetic, for the fight or flight response. So if we're calming our amygdala, that is helping us regulate our nervous system. Yeah, if you're into the sciencey.
Yes. And then going off of being outside, just being in nature is really amazing.
Yes.
Hugging trees. I told you guys, I think a couple episodes ago, that I was trying to get into tree hugging.
Yeah.
I've done it. I have my tree. I have my tree at the park that I always go and see every day.
You guys go hug a tree.
Hugging a tree, grounding, putting your feet or your hands in the grass and the sand and the dirt. Just being outside, it's so important, especially because the earth, gives off these negative ions, and that's really good for us to be a part of.
Yeah, I definitely resonated when I saw something which is very basic, very cliche, but it was this post that was like, we come from nature, right? Like we come from nature. Of course, nature is going to help regulate our nervous system. Like, of course, nature is good for us. And so many of us are just stuck inside so much. So it's a blessing for us. And we feel very lucky to live in LA, where it's like warm most of the time and sunny. LA is amazing. But if you have the access and the ability to like go outside, maybe go to a park, maybe if you have a lawn, something like that. And we also say if you really, really, really like live in a city and there's no nature around you, you can bring nature inside. Have a plant, bring flowers in your apartment, in your house or something. So kind of really just trying to spend more time in nature and be more intentional with that is so huge for nervous system regulation.
And then another great one is stimulating your vagus nerve.
Yes.
Which runs all the way from your brain all the way down to your bottom.
Yes.
And so you can stimulate that by humming, which is such an easy modality. I actually watched this TikTok the other day that told you that you can tell if your nervous system is dysregulated, which, guys, I don't know if this is factual. Again, I just saw it on TikTok, but it kind of made sense to me.
We read an article, TikTok. Yeah, I actually saw it the other day. I did some research TikTok.
But it was this practitioner that was saying if you can't hum for 10 straight seconds, that means that your vagus nerve is dysregulated. Oh. So to do some vagus nerve exercises. And so I tried it. I tried humming she counts with you and you do it with her. And I tried humming, and towards, I would say around like 9 or 10, it got a little difficult. And I was like, oh, I made it to 10. And I tried to go a little further. I could only get to 12.
Interesting.
And I feel like I regulate my nervous system intentionally every day, multiple times a day, and I still couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, I did it, but it felt tough.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Try that exercise, guys. Try humming. Humming is such a good one. That's what Emily mentioned also when she was saying, how do we regulate our nervous system? She also mentioned just telling yourself, like maybe putting your hands over your heart and just telling yourself that you're safe. That's really helpful too. Because again, our nervous system is in this sympathetic, in this fight or flight, because we're feeling like we're not safe, right? We're on edge, we're alert. So just telling yourself that you're safe is actually really good for regulating too. Yeah. And she mentioned humming also. So humming is a little underrated one as well.
It is definitely underrated for sure. And then lastly, we're going to keep it short because obviously there's so many different modalities to use to regulate your nervous system, and you can Google them or ask ChatGPT or find them on TikTok, on YouTube. But lastly, just overall slowing down.
Yeah.
Slowing down and spending more time with your internal rather than your external.
Yes, we rush around so much, you guys. We rush around so much. We think we have to get so much done all the time, and that's it's not great for your body. It's not great for your mental. So just trying to slow down. And we've been trying to be more intentional with like not rushing while we eat, for example, like really trying to chew our food, put our fork down every time or something like that. So taking time while you are doing these things, or even like brushing our teeth. So I feel like sometimes I've been in the habit of like trying to brush my teeth like so fast, like getting in there. And it's like, oh, okay, wait, actually, let's relax. Let's slow down. And slowing down is such an amazing way to regulate. I also wanted to touch on, one more thing, you guys, of trying not to look at your phone as soon as you wake up.
Because I feel like that's part of slowing down.
Okay, yeah, okay, cool. So this is also part of slowing down. You guys, it's so important not to immediately wake up and like check social media or check your notifications or check something on your phone. This is what we have with our members in our community. We have you guys look at or listen, you wake up and then you play affirmations. So instead of waking up, looking at your phone, looking at social media, that's a shock to your system. Try to do something positive for your brain when you are waking up, because your brain's super suggestible as soon as we wake up for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. And so we have our members, and this is what we do, is listen to affirmations as soon as we wake up. That's easy. You just press play, you listen, or if you like to immediately get up, you can get up and play them while you're brushing your teeth or whatever. But trying not to go on your phone as soon as you wake up is actually an amazing way to regulate also. And then just also sticking with the morning, trying to get morning sunlight. That's another one too. That's something that me and Kames try to do. That's a great way to regulate. Our body really does need that sunlight to reset our circadian rhythm, to regulate, to help our energy levels. Like there was a study I heard of the other day that study TikTok. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I don't think it was TikTok. I don't think it was a TikTok. Maybe it was. But how the average American gets less sunlight than a prisoner. Because prisoners, at least most of them, get dedicated sunlight outside time. And us Americans are so... Again, we're so busy. We're going from our home to our office, or from our home to our car to office and things like that. So trying to intentionally get some sunlight, especially in the morning, super powerful. But sunlight sometime throughout your day is really going to be really, really, really good for you too.
Yeah. So guys, what does regulating your nervous system do for you? It helps you be more creative. It helps you be more intentional. It makes you feel safe, calm, confident. It helps you lock in your manifestations. And like Olivia mentioned earlier, but notice opportunities.
Yes.
It helps you notice opportunities because you're present and you're happy and you're feeling good. So you're like, yeah, you're the luckiest person in the world, essentially, once you're regulated.
Yeah, 1000%. It definitely helps you become more of like an energetic match for what you want. And I mean, that goes with this idea of what I believe of. There's infinite versions of reality. So our current vibration and our current frequency is what is aligning us to whatever version of reality you're on, right? So when we're regulating our nervous system, and when we are leveling up our mindset, when we are building our self-concept, like there's so many different things to raise our vibration, but nervous system regulation also raises our vibration. So we are literally becoming an energetic match for higher and better versions of reality. So yeah, it's a very important part. Speaking of raising your vibration and raising your frequency and quantum leaping into different versions of reality, I feel like we've been quantum leaping into different versions of reality.
Ooh, tell us more.
I really believe, you guys, that me and Kames have cracked the code of manifesting. And what's that code? Nervous system regulation, but also truly being delusional.
Yeah.
Like, you guys, we'll do a whole other episode, maybe in the next couple of weeks. But me and Kames have been doing more like research and looking up how manifestation and being delusional and like holding the vision of your manifestations and your dreams is talked about in every religious text. Like, again, we can dive into this, but that's something that we've been like looking into lately. And it's really cool. Like, we've been asking ChatGPT and being like, hey, can you tell us, where manifestation is talked about, like in the Bible or in the Quran or in other religious texts? And everywhere, you guys, every single book, every single sacred book, knowledge says that you need to hold the vision. You need to basically use the law of assumption to assume that you already that you basically already have your manifestation, that your manifestation is coming, and that's how it comes.
No, guys, for real, like being delusional is a global concept.
Yes.
All the baddies all across the world who are getting what they want, they're delusional.
Oh, that should be our hat. All baddies are delusional.
All baddies are delusional.
You guys, we're gonna have merch eventually, and we've been trying to think of like what we want on our merch. Like we're like, okay, hot girls are delusional.
Yeah.
That's cute. Delulu af, but Kings doesn't like really Delulu. Do you guys like Delulu? Or is that a little corny? I don't know. But baddies, like all baddies are delusional.
All baddies are delusional.
That's a good one.
I kind of did one.
I know
that.
you did. You just channeled right there.
I channeled, guys. But no, like it's been cool, like researching all the different religious texts.
Yeah.
Again, we'll talk about it in a different episode because we got a whole
yeah plethora of information,
a whole plot line.
Yeah, a whole plot line
that we want to talk about when it comes to that. But yeah, it's cool. Like being delusional it's sacred, guys.
It's sacred.
It's so important. It's so important because we need to remember that we are abundant. We need to remember that it's our right, our God-given right to be abundant and to get whatever we want and to have all our desires. So once we tap into that and know that it's good for us to get what we want, it makes a lot of sense.
It makes so much sense. And it's easier when you regulate, obviously. So that's tying it all back. But yeah, it's really like, okay, it's mine. And we've also heard recently this phrase of like, you got to bully the universe.
Yeah.
Which is funny. And I kind of fuck with that.
Olivia likes it. I don't yell at my angels though. I never yell at my angels.
Okay, listen.
Or cuss them out. She likes cussing them out too.
Okay,
I don't do that.
Okay, bullying doesn't have to be yelling. Okay, first of all, I'm not yelling, but I'm like, hey,
but you do cuss them out.
I've thrown a couple cuss words in there.
I like never, you guys, my angels. Oh, my sweet baby angels. I would never say mean things to them. Well, but I, with a very nice and loving tone, I'm very demanding. I'm like, listen, guys, I've been saying I want X, Y, and Z. I would really appreciate it if you pull through tomorrow.
Give me my money. Like it's kind of the demanding. Hey, it's mine. It better be on my doorstep tomorrow. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No timeline. But
you're like I told you. You're like, guys, come on. I told you. I've been telling you. You not pulling through is playing in my face.
Yeah. It's like, it goes with this idea of like, just decide it's yours, demand it. Like, do not accept anything less than what you want. And I think when you get a little bit more serious with like, hey, give it to me slash it's already mine, and getting a little bit more demanding, getting a little bit like, hey, I'm literally not accepting anything less than what I want, then it's really, I don't know, I've been leaning into that energy. I feel like things have been quantum leaping for me. My universe has been getting in line.
they've been listening. You guys, Olivia and I got some news last week, and Olivia is stronger apparently, and looked at that news and was like, okay, bet, whatever. And I looked at the news and I was kind of sad, girl. I was kind of a little bit down bad because I was just like, oh, what does this mean? Yada yada. But I knew, and this ties into nervous system regulation, I knew what I needed to do. So I actually got chat out and I typed a little message chat and was like, hey, this is the dealio. This is how I'm feeling. So she gave me some EFT tapping. So I tapped it out. And then I went on a walk. I moved my body. I transmuted that sad girl energy into, wait, I'm actually a hot baddie bitch who gets everything she wants. And then I went to the park and I hugged my tree and I talked to my tree and I told her all my secrets. And then afterwards, like immediately afterwards, I was like, wait, why was I actually so down bad over what? And I came home and Olivia and I had to look over some things again. And we ended up getting... It's hard to tell you guys without telling you everything, but we ended up getting good news, better news than what we were initially expecting. And I really think it was from the universe being like, how are you going to react? And as soon as I felt those feelings of unworthiness, maybe, I think it was unworthiness that I was feeling, creep in, I changed that energy, and then I got more than what I was expecting.
Yeah, even better news.
We
got a little bit of bad news. Oh, okay, ouch, that hurts a little bit. It hurts our ego a little bit, whatever. But then it's like you knew the tools. You knew how to regulate your nervous system. You knew how to work through that. You were asking chat. And then we come back. So you fixed it. You basically fixed your mindset on it. And then we come back. Great news. Then we got even better news.
Yeah, we got a little treat. And all of this happened within an hour.
Yeah.
And so I really feel like I worked some magic for us because I said, I don't want to feel like this. It doesn't feel good to feel bad, you guys. And so a lot of these modalities, they might seem silly. They might seem weird. You're like tapping on my face, tapping on my chest. How does that help? Hugging a tree, you might look weird. It might feel silly, but it really works. Moving your body, you're like, is moving your body really that is that really that helpful?
Yeah, like, is it actually going to be doing anything?
Is
Like,
it
energy, is energy even real? Like, you know,
Exactly.
I can see why it would feel weird or feel woo-woo.
Yeah, but it really does help, especially when you start practicing it more intentionally,
Yeah.
more consistently. The nervous system regulation, it goes a long way.
Yeah, it really
It
does.
just guarantees your wins.
Yeah, it really, really does. It locks them in. It makes you feel safe receiving them. That's why, you know, we mentioned we're doing that with our members with our money mindset challenge. Sometimes money feels a little scary if you grew up not having very much money, or if you grew up with beliefs that money is not good or things like that, right? Like money abundance. And that's why nervous system regulation is so important, because if you're trying to manifest more money, for example, your body needs to feel safe, right? Like there's the saying or the fact that most lottery winners end up losing most of their money. And I think part of that is because their nervous system isn't even ready for that kind of money, that kind of abundance. So it was really interesting, like working with our community members and being like, hey guys, you know, we're talking about money, what feelings are coming up? And a lot of them were like, oh, I feel like money doesn't even really feel safe with me, right? And nervous system regulation like really, 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 really helps with that.
Yeah.
So nervous system regulation, you guys. Hopefully, this episode convinced you and taught you or reminded you that regulating is so important. Listen to this again if you ever need inspiration or ideas of how to regulate, or send us a DM if you want to work with us in greater detail. But we love you guys, and thank you so much for continuing to tag us on social media. Please share these episodes on social media if you like it. If you want other people to, I mean, don't share it, I guess, if you don't want anyone else to win. If you don't want your friends to win, I guess, don't share it. But you know that if you share this podcast or put it on your story or something like that, other people are going to be winning too. And that's what we want, you guys. We are on a mission to raise the global consciousness of this planet. So
that is our mission.
that
for
is
sure.
really
We just
our
want
mission.
everyone to feel good, because when everyone feels good, they do good.
Yeah, and
it's hard to do bad if you're feeling good.
Yes, exactly. And the more people that feel good, the better this earth, this planet is going to be. And yeah, it's really, really cool. So we love you guys.
We love you guys. See you next week.
See you next week.